Okay, so today you're going to take the third grade, Unit 2, Concepts of Area and Multiplication Assessment. Before you begin, make sure your name and number is at the very top. Remember, you can pause the video after I read each question so you have time to think, and then resume the video to move on to the next question. Okay, so let's get started. Question 1 says, a diagram is shown. Here is the diagram. There's a key to that diagram. Answer this question. Which measure would be found by counting all the unit squares in the rectangle? Would you be measuring A, area, B, length, C, volume, D, perimeter? Circle the answer that best fits that question. Okay, moving on to question number 2. Select 3 rectangles that have an area of 20 square units. So look at A, B, C, D, and E and circle 3 of the rectangles that have an area of 20 square units. You might want to pause the video at this time so that you can count and circle. Resume the video when you're ready to move on to question 3. Question 3 says, what is the area of the figure in square units? So the figure, I just want to make sure you see this. This is the figure right here, going all the way around. Okay, this is the figure. It's not the rectangle, the figure I'm outlining in red. What is the area of the figure in square units? When you figured that out, write it on the line. Okay, moving on to question 4. It says a rectangle has an area of 12 square inches. Which side lengths are possible for this rectangle? And it says select 3 answers, 3. So you need to look at all these answers, A, B, C, D, and E, and select 3 of them that would give you an area of 12 square inches. Okay, moving on to question 5. It says select 2 expressions that represent the area of this rectangle. Meaning, how could you figure out the area of this rectangle by using one of these 2 expressions, or one of these 5 expressions? So pick 2 of them. So you might want to figure out the side lengths, whatever you want to do. Pause the video, look at the choices, and then circle 2. Question number 6 says, a rectangle has a width of 3 feet and an area of 18 square feet. I'll read that again. A rectangle has a width of 3 feet and an area of 18 square feet. What is the length in feet of the rectangle? If you want to use the space to draw it, if you want to get out tiles to help you figure it out, you may do that. You can draw tiles. Okay. When you're done, write your answer on the line and then move on to question 7. Question 7 says, the plan of the playground is shown. What is the area of the playground? So find the area of the playground. Write an equation to represent the area of the playground. How did you know what the area was? Write the equation on this line. And the last page, it says, question 8 says, Andre places these squares on a rectangle and says the area of the rectangle is 10 square units. Do you agree with Andre? Explain your reasoning. So on these lines, you write, yes, I agree, no, I don't agree, but give me a reason why you either agree or disagree. Okay. When you're done, check your work. If you want to go on to the challenge section, you may go ahead and do that. It is down here, so you can figure that out. And it says find the area of the figure, explain your work for both of them. Okay, so that is optional. The challenge section is optional. You do not need to do it. Before you turn in your paper, make sure you've answered every question and have done your best work, and make sure your name and number is on that paper.